lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, 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 lollipop.
Boom, boom, boom.
If you're like me, you like movies, and if you're like me, you tend to watch the same movies over and over again. And you often think about the people acting in the movie and what became of them. But I've got someone here who is well known to many people, but perhaps not well known beyond what she did for one movie in 1958 called Wild Women of Wando. And she was the female lead playing the Omu character, Jean Hawkshell Tresselt. I'm honored. I'm pleased. You know, Jean, first of all, good evening.
Good evening.
And
how are you?
I'm fine, and I'm honored to have you. You know, I was mentioning...
Oh, that's so cute. I can't believe you watched that movie more than once.
Well, you know, and I was saying to Mike, who's, you know, I've got clothes older than Mike, my producer, all of the cities where I saw this movie played. I saw it played, I think I first saw it in Philadelphia, then I saw it in New York, then I saw it in Los Angeles, and it's been a staple of, you know, whatever you want to call it, matinee horror, for years and years and years and years. And the amazing thing about it is nobody really knows what happened to anybody that did the movie other than me knowing what happened to you. It's amazing.
Well, you know, I don't even think I know anything about any. I know Joyce Nazari was one of the girls, and she ended up being a playmate of the month. Hugh Hefner came down to check out the movie set, or at least he was at a party I went to. I think she's the only one that I even know that went on. I moved on and started a family, and you know, and listen, not very many of my friends even know about this movie. So this has been very recently that I've even shared this with anyone. I mean, how do you think it feels to have a lead in one of the 10 worst movies ever made, and then have it turn into kind of a cult classic because it's that bad? So I have only now learned to laugh at it. I don't think I smiled through the entire movie.
Well, you know, and that amazes me. Now, of course, I know you as well as I know you, but perhaps I don't know you terribly well. You grew up in Maryland, and you were I guess a Catholic schoolgirl that liked to perform.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And one of the awful things that happened, they released this movie and a double feature with the sins of Lola Montez. So I spent a lot of time trying to tell people it's not a porno movie. My mother was indignant. My mother was so embarrassed. And all she kept saying, but it's being shown with the sins of Lola Montez. And of course it was at all the drive-in theaters. Now I can go, my grandchildren love it because I'll sit there and watch the movie with them and I'll make wisecracks and make up dialogue and all kinds of things through it. So now I'm having fun with it.
It's, well, you know, as well you should. Now, how did you get picked to do the movie?
Well, I got picked out by a lady named Helen Rich, who was a society writer for the Miami Herald, and she wanted somebody to represent the fashion industry from Miami, and somehow they arranged for me to go to Ireland, and I had a 15-page spread in Coronet magazine. It was called Cinderella in Ireland. Then when I came home, I was doing a little modeling jobs around Myrtle Beach, and certainly no high fashion, you know, catalog-y kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And she drove me by Studio M, which was a little theater run by a man named Owen Phillips, who was a wonderful director, ended up running the Abington Theater in Virginia, which the Barter Theater, I think it's called, in Abington, Virginia. And he tried me out for a part, and he liked whatever I did with it. And I ended up on the stage playing Ruth in Beyond the Horizon by Eugene O'Neill, and then I played Abigail in The Crucible. And I played them with Richard Mulligan. I don't know whether you remember him.
Yeah, he was around in the 70s.
Yeah, he went on. He played Custer, Little Big Man. I mean, he had quite a little. Soap, I think he was on that.
On Soap, yes.
So, and I thought, oh, I got good reviews, and certainly Owen thought I was wonderful and all of that. And apparently, when they came to town, they probably checked in with Owen about local talent. I use that word loosely, but I think I really owe it to Owen that he got the part for me. And then they took my nice dark auburn hair and dyed it Lucille Ball red, which, if you notice in the movie, it keeps fading out. And I had to go a la natural. I didn't have any, nobody did my hair, and I didn't have any makeup on, and all the girls that were with me were sneaking off to the beauty parlor and having their hair done. There was the usual tension on the set about things like that.
Well, when they came to you and said, we want you to do this movie and have this, did they explain to you the part, the type of movie? No.
No, I think that's why I didn't smile through the entire movie. There were times when I was thinking, I cannot believe this. I really cannot believe this. And boy, the director had me play it straight. I mean, I wasn't allowed to get too campy. And, there really wasn't much you could do with it. I mean, it really isn't.
Now, how old were you doing this?
Huh? Why?
No, how old were you?
Oh, I was 20.
Mm-hmm. So you're in this movie, and they didn't tell you what it was about and what the part was about, and you're just acting these scenes day to day, and you're wondering what the heck is happening.
That's absolutely right.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? I regret one of the things we all did. We all signed away the rights to the movie, and clips of the little love scene kept showing up on MTV with Martha and the Vandellas singing "Love Is Like a Heat Wave," and it had an old Anne Margaret clip and an old some other like prehistoric thing. Can't think of the actress in it. And I thought, oh my goodness, I could have made money on that if I had signed the rights away to it.
Wow.
But I look back at it now and I realize it was fun.
Now, from what I could see, it was a tough part to play. I mean, you had to throw spears, you had to run. This was all like sprung upon you.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing.
Well, the spear throwing and all that was no problem. I was a tomboy, and so I didn't find it physically tough at all. I don't think there was anything that tough in it.
Now, do you remember, any of your co-participants in this movie, what they were saying and what they were thinking, and anything that they might have thought out as they were going through it?
No, well, not really. It was a strange situation. We didn't have much time to socialize, and I think, but we only once did a cast party afterwards, and we would just sit. I don't know. Maybe I just sat and sulked. I don't know. I don't remember, having big, deep conversations with really anyone. The guys kind of hung out together, and the girls would hang out together, and I would just kind of sit quietly and I think read a book between takes. And, they made it in such a short time. I don't remember how long it took them to do it, but it was fascinating. We were at Coral Castle, which now I see on the History Channel. It's almost like one of the 7 wonders of the world. They keep talking about it, and I'm thinking, well, my goodness, I spent almost a month in there.
Now, you were also at Weeki Wachee Spring?
No, I didn't go up to that part.
Now, how did that all come about?
The alligator scene? Well, it was written in the script. You're talking about the big fight with the alligator?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I ran into a pond, and you see me running out of a pond, and a stunt girl. Now, this is kind of blowing my whole thing, because my grandchildren thought it was me. I hate to give this away, but we had a stunt girl do the alligator up there. And all I did was run in and out of the water.
And this, what was the stunt girl planned, or was this something that just came about?
Well, they must have planned it. Somebody planned it. I mean, we were handed scripts every day, and I don't think they were writing it just as, we were giving pages in the morning. Not that there was much to say. I mean, the lines from me, oh, moo, you, Ingor. I mean, that's really Shakespearean.
It's amazing. Now, the movie was completed, and you said there was a premiere of it?
Well, they showed it at a Miami movie theater, yeah, and we all went. We all showed up, and I remember putting on, high heels and, dressing up the best way I could. I had my hair done and showed up for it, and I remember a few people faintly asking me for an autograph, which I thought was really funny. And then it kind of died down. It got bad reviews, and it died down, and then it came to Washington. This is when my mother found out about it.
Oh, she didn't know. Oh, dear.
Well, she did know that I was in a movie. I didn't tell her the name of it, and of course it sounds like it's just going to be risque beyond belief. And I believe it made an A on the Legion of Decency in the Catholic Church, so I know we were okay in good standing. But the fact that it was shown with the sins of Lola Montez, I don't think my mother ever forgave me for that part.
Amazing. And it really, I mean, the history of it is it's played over and over and over in matinees, in film festivals, in Saturday afternoon, horror, wild movies, and it's.
Well, I'm still alive. They could have come to some of those things because I didn't really know that was still going on. I held up pretty well. I would appreciate finally making a little money on the thing.
Well, and believe me, I think people knowing that you're there, I think you can. But as the years went on, did you think about acting in motion pictures again?
No, I didn't. I really primarily was raising my family. I ended up, as far as theatrical dues go, I had a little company called Promotion Design, and was doing technical narration for some big companies, Raytheon, Sylvania, California Computer, things like that, RCA, and we did that and made some good money at it, but I was busy raising a family, and that took priority.
Now, in your life, in your married life, and being a mom, was it ever like you were walking into the living room picking up toys or something, and the movie would come on TV, and you'd cringe and run and hide and don't let anybody... Any of those kind of moments?
No, what would happen is my kids would get a copy of it, and they would have all their friends over, and then I would have to come into the room and cringe, and they would all be so impressed, and I would be just horrified that they were watching it. And then I had one nephew, a little nephew named Danny, who just thoroughly enjoyed it. He must have watched that thing 20 times, and so he's the one that got me to make up dialogue and
wow.
Get him laughing about it, and then I could enjoy it.
Well, not everyone has a mom or a grandma that wrestles an alligator,
Well, now they know, though. So, yeah, they were impressed. The kids all were very impressed with the fact that their mother had been in a movie. And here I'm thinking, I'm pulling out reviews of things that I did, where I got a outstanding review about playing Abigail in The Crucible, and that didn't impress them at all. Mm-hmm. They're really impressed with Oh Moo.
It's something. I mean, how could I put it? If you tried to make that movie today and made a sincere effort at doing it, you couldn't. You just couldn't. It just had such a incredible character to it, and through all the years after making the movie, you really don't know what happened to any of your co-players.
No. I moved away from Miami. and everybody was local. And we moved from there to back to the D.C. area. I grew up in Maryland, and we moved back home, and I lost touch with everybody. I think I kept in touch with people for a while, a couple of, maybe even a year or so afterwards. But when I left Florida, I lost touch with everybody.
I understand.
I don't think anybody made a really bonding, lasting relationship on the movie that I'm aware of. It was a strange movie, and I think none of us really knew what we were doing.
It's an amazing thing, and it's funny, when you watch it. It has a funny plot, and it has sort of whatever you want to call it, a couple of 1950s rock and roll, undertones to it, which kind of make you chuckle, and it's it really is something which has a character. I do know that others have taken it and like you've mentioned the MTV video, and some others have. I remember the old Mystery Science Theater, where you had those little funny guys that were down in the front of the theater that were making comments to the movie.
Oh dear, right.
They were watching it.
And dear, how wonderful. Well, like I said, I wish I'd never signed the rights away to it. Apparently, I never thought of it becoming a cult classic. Also, I think if you made it today, if I were involved in it today, I think I could really make it funny. I mean, I think the fact that it could have been a really funny little movie.
Yes.
With a little bit of, just a tweaking in the dialogue, or just something, a little more humor involved in it. It seems to me that everybody on the set was incredibly serious, and the prayers of the dragon goddess, whatever that was. I mean, that I couldn't hardly get through it, and they were dead serious about that. Has to be said with real feeling and emotion. And I do remember the woman that played the high priestess.
Yes.
I think she was married to a professor from the University of Maryland. She had a little theater background. But I don't even remember anyone. Look, you're asking me to go back over 50 years. I don't remember anybody's name. I remember the character, Mona, the girl that played my best friend in the movie. Now, that lady and I became relatively close during the movie. She had a child and she had a family, and I think we all just did it for the money, seems like, and an opportunity, and I never thought much beyond that. I think I had what they call the fire in the belly for movies or theater.
Now, did you do any acting, be it dinner theater or, informal plays or anything after that?
I've done one little thing here in South Carolina. They have the little theater down in Georgetown, about an hour south of Myrtle Beach. And I did something down there. I took a part in something called the Octet Bridge Club, and played the wife of an alcoholic sheriff. And it offered a little challenge, but that's the only thing I've ever really gone out to try to do.
Wow,
I've thought about it. I have to admit, there are times as I've gotten older and I thought, well, now I'm at that age where I could do grandmothers and characters. And I've thought about it because there's Wilmington has a pretty active movie operation going up there, but I've never really pursued it.
Understood. Well, I mean, it's such a pleasure to have you, because I've through the years of watching this, and there's very little material where it's funny, if you go to the Internet Movie Database and you look down the names of the people that acted, there might be somebody with 2, perhaps 3 roles in their entire life, but the others, that was the only thing they ever did.
Do you know who was in it? Now, wait a minute. There is one. Remember Ed Fury?
Yes.
Ed Fury was in the movie. He was one of the men in the handsome village. And he went on to Italy, I believe, and did a couple of Hercules.
He did do a couple of Hercules movies, and then Adrian Borbo, I think, did choreography.
No, that's really something. That we had somebody named Adrian Borbo in the movie theater, but it was not the actress.
Ah.
So I don't want to saddle the actress Adrian Borbo.
No, we certainly don't want to do that.
No, but I've seen that happen a couple of times. I mean, I've checked it out. I've looked it up online, and it's not the same actress at all. I don't think anyone in the movie had many acting. I think I was the only female that had any acting experience at all, and I just had the experience at Studio M.
It's
As far as the men go, now the male lead, we were told in the very beginning that he had been a boy in the Tarzan movie. And then I guess somewhere along the line we found out that wasn't the true story about how he came about. So I don't know anything about that. And I was young and dumb and not inquisitive. Now, boy, I would be checking everybody out, finding out everything. But it's taken me a long time to kind of grow up.
It's it's an amazing thing, and as whatever the critics said about it, it really is a beautifully filmed movie, and the scenery is beautiful.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you very much.
And and you see varying prints, and some prints are very, very, very clear, and other prints aren't clear at all. But really, it's something that a lot of the horror movies of that genre are. They looked like they were filmed on Uncle Charlie's black and white Super 8 camera. This one does not have that impression.
No, well, the settings were beautiful. Coral Castle was the scene of the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, you've seen that a lot on History Channel lately. And then Matheson Hammock was the scene of the village, and that was a sweet little beach there in South Dade County, South Florida, South Miami. So
Yeah.
between those two spots, that was it. And then I guess they just went up to Silver Springs to do the alligator scene.
Yeah, and that's the scene that when everybody mentions it. Oh yeah, the alligator scene, but
Everybody remembers that one, right?
it's really amazing, and I can't believe it. We're heading to a point where we're out of time, and what we're going to do is we've got to get you doing an autograph show, I think.
I'm game. Now I really am ready to have fun with the thing.
I don't know people directly, but a few of my older actor friends and actress friends that have been on, I know they do autographs, and I'll ask them because I think that you would be a hit because many, many people have seen your movie.
Well, how about that? Well, never know how I've influenced people. Let me put it this way. I might have been one of the first women livers. Well, I went after what I wanted, got it.
Well, I mean, it's you were, as far as someone that was played on screens throughout the country in this strong female role, you were among the first.
Well, that's what I said. That's what I meant by that.
Yeah.
Oh, move, yeah.
For certain.
I didn't think of that until later, and I thought, well, that's not really a bad image to lay on some young women. I can remember. I know we're out of time, but I can remember, that whole movement that came about. I was part of that.
Mm-hmm. And you might have authored a large part of it too.
Well, you never know.
You never know. Well, Jean Hawkshaw Tresselt, we're honored to have you tonight. Thank you so much.
I'm honored that you remembered me and that you're you've stayed in touch with me all these years.
It's one of my favorite movies, and it's really been a joy. And you take care. We'll talk soon, dearie.
You're very sweet, Tony. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good night, now.
Good night.
You heard from perhaps the female lead of the worst movie ever made, only on this show, but we'll be coming to you right back with our closing remarks, and quite a show tonight. Right back right after this.
It's not the pale moon that excites me.